Because it's the modem. So as soon as this ends, we are going to order a new modem. And hopefully that fixes it. We got to be the only squad in the MMA space who has issues with their modem in 2026. I don't get it. The group chat's not popping either, Chin. It's not moving. I see the ones that jumped on here early. Oh, I see myself. Oh, the thighs are super zesty. Shorts are zesty. There we go. There we go. Mikey Mukai, what up? Gemma Girl, Ficus Fight Club Tuesday. Girl, I just added 11 more trees this morning. I'll post videos of them. Justin, what up? Donnelly Giff, what up? Rafi, what up? Black Ross, what's up, big dog? How are we doing, buddy? You doing all right? Big Rich. Comet Cody says, what's up, BBCs? Big Rich, lunch break, live zesty chat. This is the zestiest chat in all the land. We getting zesty here. Mike Mukai says, I just stared at my TV for 45 minutes yesterday waiting for the live. I didn't know. Sorry, man. Donnelly Giff, Ian Zesty, Gary chat today. I'm sure we'll get into it. Am I going too hard on him? Captain 420, Islam is not the best fighter, but he's the most boring one there is. There's something to be said about that. I'm not hating on Islam. He's great, especially in 2026. He's great. But you guys do realize, I think Jon Jones had 17 defended title fights. You know, they're not even the same stratosphere. Gemma Girl, I'm still beaming. I picked Dern by decision. I tried to tell the majority, except for Gemma, the majority of this group chat, the super chat, was glazing hard on Jillian. Hard. I never got that. I never got that. Toasty Tuesdays. I like Topher. Toasty Tuesdays fun. Zesty Tuesdays is funner. Captain 420. I don't think I could watch a Ism fight ever again. I don't know if I'd go that hard in the paint. He's still great, but 70's gonna be tough for him, especially when he goes against Morales, Prates, Amasov. Like there's some. It's gonna get tough for him. Big Rich. I bet Islam to win just because I knew he would, but the odds sucked. I bet 80 and 105. That's not terrible. Oh, 25 total. It's not good. Cameron, yo, what up? Mikey Mukai, Gary just never pulled the trigger. Correct. Fought not to lose. Cameron says, come on, Chinster. It's not Chinster. I wish it was. That'd make this easier to figure out. Cody says, got to get that Nighthawk modem. We don't know modems. Chin's not the
I stopped IT like
biggest savvy tech guy. Neither am I.
15 years ago.
Yeah. But Chin was saying it has to work with our internet.
Our ISP, Internet Service Provider.
Zesty Shorts gang. That's right, Cody. Sean J. Murph, what up? The Shea Show, what up, B? Tell me about your weekend activities. Kiddo on Saturday, both of them had football. Now that school started, the Tiger's still going 4 days a week. Bossy goes 3 days a week. And then Bossy starts baseball, which I'll coach as well on Thursday. And he's playing up. He's playing with the 8U NL League. So even at 8, you gotta all 8-year-olds have to try out. And then Bosty, who's 6, got invited to try out with the 8U teams. And it's broken up to AL and NL. And the NL is the really good kids. That's the good league. The AL's a lot of beginners, stuff like that. You know, just is what it is. And Bosty, Bosty made the NL. He's cooking. J. Luke, hopefully nobody bet the house on Gary. Yeah. I'm sure some did. Trey, long-time listener, first time in the chat. Let's get zesty. Let's do it, dude. Tyler, Ian Garry is what happens when you give participation trophies. Correct. It's just a different mindset, these kids today. Manuel, welcome to the party. Maria G, Ian is definitely getting the Armin treatment after all this shit. Correct. Black Ross, Islam isn't near Jones. No. And there seems to be this narrative online, right? Like, oh, he's the GOAT. I'm like, man, I'm not hating on him at all, but not even remotely close. Strength of schedule, title defenses, even coming up, you look at their strength of schedule, it's not, we're kind of prisoners of the moment, but a lot of these newer fans, they have no clue what they're talking about. Jay Snag was so happy how hard you went in the paint yesterday towards Peter Boy Ian Garry. Yeah, it's fun. I laid in bed this morning and was like, did I go too hard on him? You know? Because I am a fan. He's so skilled. I don't know. I struggle with that. Moldoni, how do you think Islam versus Brady would go? Not good right now. A few weeks back, he said that Paddy win over BSD was more impressive than Gaethje beating Topuria. Could you break it down? Why? Thanks, mate. No, I don't think I say a lot of wild shit. I don't think I said Paddy's win. The finish, the matter of doing it in like 30 seconds is more impressive. But half that equation is BSD fighting like a complete French bonehead. They're bone dry and you just jump into a grappler with your neck. It's so dumb. Gaethje being Topuria is on another level, completely different level. Cody, Dern is a beast on the ground. She looks so good standing this last fight. Yeah, I don't get the blowback Dern's dealing with right now. I do not get that. And everyone's glazing the Islam and Ian fight. That doesn't make sense. Shay Show, Dern got that championship superpower where she's 25% better just for being champ. Facts. Black Ross, I never go against Dern, nor should you. Now, if Fatima gets up there, that's a different story. Normax, so how many guys rolled your eyes when they hugged to start round 5? I can't believe Islam didn't push him. Was like, get the fuck out of here, man. Ozzy, damn late to my first live. Oh, you're good, dude. Don't worry about being late. W. Brooks, how many of the people John had defense against would scratch the top 10 today? All of them. All of them be top 5, if not champs. It's a completely different stratosphere. Jermaine, what up? Imzavu, is the technique Garry was using to use his length to get out of Islam's wrestling a good strategy be? No, it was so defensive that it negated his offense. So, and what makes him special is his athletic ability and his footwork and counter striking. It eliminated all that. So it was just a dumb game plan. And that's why you can tell he's pretty elated. Like, didn't get finished. Like, yeah. The game plan was not to get taken down. Yeah. You got taken down every round, buddy. So clearly that, again, you put up a fight as far as the grappling department. But again, by all measurements, you failed, dude. So I don't get this thinking that, oh, man, he looked great. He's going to be champ. It's like, what shows you that? The 2 elite guys he's fought, he lost to. Tyler, I get that you think Practice is next, but wouldn't mind Morales being the backup fighter make him next for Islam? You can't keep making Michael Morales the backup fighter. Michael Morales hasn't fought since what, last November? The Sean Brady fight? So it's like this whole backup shit, he deserves better than that. Slurp says, I liked your take on Din Thomas yesterday. I've always liked him, but that was some real shit he pulled Saturday. I couldn't see who called him out at the desk, but I like that he checked him a bit. I think Chris Weidman was like, do we want to do this right now? Yeah, fighter's like, what are you doing? Omar, the broken nose slowed Islam, and it was from the back of Ian's headbutting the takedown. Islam finished him without that. I don't think so, Omar. I don't think so. Islam's he's not going to be as dominant at 70. At 55, super dominant. 70, those are big boys. So I think that's taking its toll on him. King Quincy, hear me out. Islam versus Practice, Morales versus Amasov, Ian versus Shavkat, and forget. You can't do Shavkat again, right? You're not going to do Ian Shavkat again, especially Shavkat's first fight back. But do we even know when Shavkat's coming back? I keep seeing people throwing Shavkat's name around. Last video I saw, his leg looked like fucking Billy Bob Thornton's, and so did his ass, and he can barely walk. And we're like, yeah, get him in there with Amasov. You're like, what? Gig 16, I can't believe Orlabai lost. That was a crazy upset. Crazy upset. Good for him, though. It's in his hometown. He pulled off that Front choke, that was sick. Dab streams. Hey, my 13-year-old is 6'2", 145, size 13 foot. Absolutely zero interest in sports. What do I do for this God mode build kid? Damn, that is so disappointing. What's he into? Video games? My kids have to play a sport. Dim the rules. Until you move out, you have to play a sport. I don't care if you're the best at it. I don't care, whatever else you want to do. In order to live in my house, you have to play a sport. Swerve, Yo B, isn't it pretty impressive that Islam moving up and beating the new crop of welterweights? Just imagine how he would look against Masvidal, Burns, Wonderboy era of welterweights. Yes and no. I mean, Masvidal in his prime, Wonderboy in his prime. Again, they're bigger guys. They're just bigger guys. Stevie G, let's go, squad. Can't wait for Saturday. First UFC event live. Is that at the Apex? RoboCop and Fluffy?
Yeah.
GM Reed, let's go. It's almost fall ball time. It's damn near. We have our first scrimmage on Thursday. I cannot wait. Because, in practice, we're talking about practice. So Thursday, it's our first scrimmage. Then we have, registration on Saturday in practice, weigh-ins. And the kids, in order to touch the ball, have to be 125. Tiger weighs 112, so he can still play running back. The Shay Show, since you lived in Texas, do you guys stomp your shoes out before you put them on? The one video, the snake in the helmet is crazy. Oh, we don't leave our shoes outside. Yeah, it's just, you got fucking scorpions, you got lizards, snakes. You can't be leaving shoes outside.
They still get inside too, though.
I haven't had anything. Well, we had that crazy centipede inside. But other than that, they're all outdoor shit, especially snakes. Mike Street, only thing worse than the sore loser is satisfied as a loser. He was proud of himself for losing. I have a pretty good story about his getting beat speech. It's crazy. Yeah. I get, glass half full. I get, we just want him to act like every other fighter. It's no, I want him to act like every other athlete who's trying to achieve greatness. You can't be happy losing. Normac, I'll be fine if I don't see Ian Garry fight again. You guys are brutal today. Someone said the same thing about Islam. I don't say that. He's damn good. He's just gay. Donley Gift, how does Dern make 115? If you cut her waist off, I can see it. Listen, she's been competing since she was 4 years old. Black Cross, John maybe had the toughest strength of schedule. Correct, of all time. Not even remotely close. Gene, can you get that off? It's kind of cutting off the...
Oh, sorry.
D. Scott, yo, Chair Show, you guys get a strong extermination crew since the wife got bit by a spider? Sure did that day. Can't be biting the kids, especially baby Billy. Sean J. Murph, I don't think Islam is that boring. He was a great grappling skills and decent striking. I think we just had a case of Izzy versus Romero where nobody really fully engaged. Hope the next one's different. Agree. His wrestling's good. At 70, when it comes to the finishing rate, it's he's 0 for 2 now, and nowhere near a finish either in either one of the fights. Jose says, who do you think wins between Allen and Pico? I think Allen will knock him out. Knock him out? Fuck no. I think if anybody gets knocked out, it's going to be Allen. I think Pico can knock him out. I'm rooting for Pico hard. Charlie, Schaub, if you were a UFC heavyweight champ and you had a title defense that 100% you could win with your grappling, would you use grappling to win or risk losing a stand and trade? Depends who I was going against. If it's say it's Cyril Gahn, I'm 100% using grappling. But I'd be looking for the finish and inflicting damage. I wouldn't just try to ride him out. That shit sucks. Easier said than done. I've had fights where I've rode him out. Drew Casablanca, been a while. Glad we're all back here. I think Dern did great for the first 2 rounds, but the killer instinct in her kind of went away later. Oh, no, dude. Those first 2 rounds were 10-8. 3rd round, she dominated. 4th round was pretty good. And then by the 5th round, her legs were shot from trying to finish that girl. If you're going to criticize her, you got to criticize that main event. Those boys didn't do shit. At least Dern was close to finishing her twice and pressed the pace. Great takedowns, great submissions, but just couldn't finish her. At least she attempted to. Those boys in the main event did nothing. Matter of fact, there was rounds where there's no significant strikes. And everyone was talking shit about Mackenzie Dern. That's so dumb to me. Normac, how about that spicy September card on the 19th? So many good matchups. Yeah, UFC's cooking. UFC announced some big-time fights. I love it. Mike Street, fight finished, so I took the kids to bed, walked back downstairs, very confused because Ian was on the mic. I thought for a moment that he had won because of how happy he was. Don't get that guy. Yeah, he's just different. D. Scott, what's up with Weili Zhang? Isn't she's doing like modeling or some shit, right?
No, she's just having fun on Instagram and social media. But
no, but I'm telling you, she's doing something. She's
modeling. I know she did that makeup thing.
She has like a whole makeover type of thing. I don't know.
I think that's for fun.
Philip, I didn't bet, but I had Dern all day. Also, is this maybe going to be a JR fight command for October Abu Dhabi card? I know it's a hot second until then, but just wondering. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. It's tough because that Abu Dhabi card is probably middle of the day. Depends when it's in October because my kiddos have football games on Saturday morning. I think Tiger games are usually around 10 to noon, and then Bossy's like from 1 to 2, so that might cook me. Omar, what is your take on Din Thomas saying he quits when it comes to cornering fighters? It's not something you need to announce. He's like, I've been feeling this way for a while, and then I don't do the weigh-ins. I'm like, all right, so or the weight cut. So it's like, it's just, I liked it. I just think it was poor taste. It's like, A, it's not about you. B, it's not like you're Greg Jackson or, Mark Henry or Javier Mendez, where it's like, where you're just coaching, you're not on-air talent and doing a bunch of other stuff. And, he has the Deep Waters pod. He's an analyst. He's doing his thing, man. Din's kind of killing it. So it's like, I'm retiring from corner fighter. It's like, okay. It just didn't make sense. Sean J. Murph, Prates and Morales would be much more likely to engage with Islam, most likely, and that would make Islam work more. Yeah. But the reason why guys are hesitant because they know they get taken down. So you have to have a guy who has the mentality like, all right, I'm going to try and knock this dude out. I might get taken down, all good. I'm not going to get finished. I'm going to get back on my feet. Even if he controls me for the round, eventually I'm going to get his ass. That's how you got to beat Islam. Share show, Islam shouldn't be holding that 55 belt anymore after the fight, just saying. Yeah, agree. Although, who's going to take it from him? Ilia's not. Andrew Raya, could Prates Morales do what Ian did and stuff the takedowns of Islam and tire him out and then finish him in the 4th or 5th? They both have killer instinct and Ian lacks. Yeah, but they don't have the takedown defense Ian has. Ian's always had really good takedown defense. He just doesn't have their offense. If you could mix those fighters, we're cooking. But he doesn't have. Morales might, with his judo background and his amateur wrestling in where is he from, Ecuador or some shit. So maybe, but the verdict's still out on him. There's a lot of questions to be answered. Manuel, what up, chat? Finally signed up. It's been long overdue. Keep killing it, big dog. By the way, do you ever plan on hopping back on Golden Hour episode, or is that something you just don't have time to do? It's tough because they do it at 1 o'clock today. So if I do it, they go to 2:30. I'll be on the field by 4. It rushes my day. I can't pick the kids up from school, so I love those boys, but I don't love them more than picking my kids up from school, if that makes sense. But we'll figure it out. By figure out means I'm not going on there. Anytime I can't miss picking my kids up at school. Captain 420, Dern fight was 1,000 times better than Islam. Facts. She tried to sub so many times, and Islam just held on for life and tried one sub. Correct, sir. That's it, Captain 420. Masvidal was saying that he feels Ian hugs and does all that to bring the pressure down on the moment. Yeah, and I've fought guys who do the same thing. Yeah, Ian's trying to kind of escalate the situation, kind of like, we're just competing, dude. There's no need to get crazy. It's like this weird, again, that's not a championship mentality. That's not the way you should do it. Swerve, people are not as harsh on Islam as Dern because Ian compared to Jillian is like Rolex to Apple Watch. Ian was bigger, faster, better striker with good takedown defense. Fair. But here's the thing. Mackenzie Dern dominated. Like Jillian, just because 5 minutes out of a 25-minute fight, and she still didn't do shit. She was just on top, but she didn't inflict any damage. 2 of those rounds were 10-8. The others, she just got her ass whooped. So it's not like that fight was even close. So to your point, yeah, Jillian's not Ian. She got dominated like she's not, though. You know what I'm saying? That fight wasn't fucking remotely close to competitive. Her fucking cornerman was like, I'm done. She did so bad, she just goes, oh, I'm out, man. This was terrible. D. Scott, Yo B, I saw you said that Islam doesn't take chances. As the champ, I don't think he needs to. Well, he never has, though. So to argue the point, it's like, but he's never taken chances. Ever. Whether he's champ, contender, prelims, outside of the UFC, the Nurmagomedov camp doesn't take chances. Yeah, but they're 100 and whatever is 3. It's like, yeah, sure. They take no chances. Shay Show, at least Din said sorry. He knew his emotions were high the night fight, addressing the mistake. Yeah, he messed up. Straight up, he messed up. But what are we going to do? What are you going to do? How long hold his feet to the fire? He kind of nipped it in the butt, being like, yeah, I messed up. You're like, all right, that's all we ask him for. All right, now if you double down, we have a huge issue. Jay Snag, vexed me so much when Gary was trying to teach practice. Homies is 19-0. You reach, I teach. You're talking about when he was trying to teach Michael Morales, not practice. Yeah, I think, and also Michael's English isn't great, so I think he's like, what's happening right now? Sean J. Murph, tell me if this is a hot take. Volk is the modern GSP. 1, super well-rounded. 2, fun to watch. 3, dominant in 4 in his division. 4, great effing dude. He's funner to watch than GSP. Again, we all love GSP, former training partner. We all hold him in such high regards as we should. He played it super safe. He's very Islamish towards the last 8 fights of his career. Very, very safe, kind of boring fighter. Which is, you don't want to lose the belt. I get it. Big Rich, Ian unintentionally got in Islam's head by rubbing his head and patting his back, plus all the goofy shit. I can see it irritate the hell out of him. I can't believe he put up with it. Patrick says, how was the vacation, Chin? Not going to lie. Could have used the chat for the card. Hope it was worth it. All love.
It's good to see family and friends.
Yeah, don't be missing fights.
It's just Friday. Come on, Friday.
And Saturday.
Come on, Saturday.
K8 says, what up, thick boys? I got you on the job site speaker. Don't make me look bad, B. I'll try my best, dude. I have a foul mouth, even coaching these kids. W. Brooks, did you see Islam wants to fight by January? Yeah, that's what he said. They could put him on that November card. I don't know when Ramadan is, but he says he wants to get one in before Ramadan. Trey, do you think Islam trying to fight before Ramadan will affect him? Usually he's such a long time to recover, train, game plan. I think you have to play in this preparation. I think whether it's 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, his next fight's going to be a lot tougher for him. King Quincy, Din Thomas retiring was on my bingo card, nor should it. Yeah, there's no reason for it. Omar, the Sacramento. Omar, you going to the Sacramento fight? Andrew, is Ian so high on his own supply that he doesn't see how screwed he is? Do you think he'll wake up after the UFC makes his life hell? They can make it difficult. He's so talented. It's going to be tough to throw him to the wolves. He's so goddamn tough to beat. So we'll see what he does. D. Scott, Yobi, I sent the clip of you and Chin of you blaming Jerry, the kid with Downs that worked with you at the grocery store. Yeah, old school, dude. Black Ross, let's go for UFC Sacramento. Yes, sir. Philip says, I also think that Shavkat had family tragedy and his father passed away, unfortunately. Yeah, there's a lot going on there. So when people are throwing his name into these title implications, I'm like, I think there's other stuff going on there.
Divorce, too? All right, that's what I heard.
Damn. Shay Show, why was the light heavyweight the main division 15 years ago and now basically no one is in it? Light heavyweight and heavyweight too. 10, 15 years ago, it was the pinnacle. I just don't think those larger athletes are getting involved in the UFC. I think it's kind of a downward spiral because of the pay, and it's a tough life. Cody, have we heard any update regarding Gearhead's Gone Wild Part 2? I'll have an update for you soon. I'll leave it at that. Slurp, I saw some report, and it was probably rumors. You know how the sport outlets are. They said Shavkat could miss another full year just to recover. Something about an infection got after surgery. Who knows? Yeah, I don't see him, again, people tossing his name. I think he has a long road back to recovery. C-Dome, Big B, been doing Muay Thai for almost a year consistently. What current or past UFC fighters use Muay Thai best in their fighting style? Shit, Muay Thai. Straight Muay Thai. Injaquani, who fought this past weekend, is pretty damn good at Muay Thai. Morales is pretty nasty with it. Pratas, those boys that use some of that. But just straight Muay Thai. You're going to have to adapt because Muay Thai, they sit so upright, right? So when it comes to grappling, you're going to be compromised. The Cleaner. Sup, everyone. First thing first, B, you were right on the money about Dern. Robertson, I can admit when I'm off, I was blind by being a fan of her and Din. How about his post-fight speech? Yeah, tough. Tough all the way around if you're a Gillian Din fan. Charlie Fishings. In just a handful of weeks, Ian has shown that the fan base doesn't like him. He's a boring fighter. He doesn't have killer instinct. What value does he bring to the company at this point? He's different, and he's world-class. That's his value. And he's a big 170, big athletic. He just has to, as far as the PR goes, I don't think that's ever going to change. So you just got to accept it. But his fighting style, let's see what he does in the next one. Again, even his comments, he goes, we don't need to do anything different, just more of the same. It's like, that you don't want to hear that. You lost the fight. What the fuck are you talking about? Shasho says, question for Chin. Did you want Islam and Dern to win?
Dern, yeah. Islam and Ian, I didn't really care who won that one.
Yeah. Rodney says, what's that crazy sound in the background? Fan? Shouldn't be too crazy. It's a small little fan. Omar, what does DDP say? A happy loser becomes a good one or something like that? Yes, this is true. You don't want to get used to losing. Normac, Ian Garry's skill set is good. I just don't think he uses it right and he's not aggressive enough. He needs a character reset, but I don't see that happening. No, not happening. He doesn't have the right people around him. Abe says, let's go Pico. If Pico beats Allen one more away from a champ fight or two, or you beat Allen, say he starches Allen, he'll probably get the next title shot. They're trying to build him up. Mark says Ian was relieved because he heard Schaub picked him to get submitted. I don't get that one, Bubba. Jay Snag, Dana got some secret plan to make him for a future event. Any idea what it could be, bro? Let me do some recon on that. I'll find out. Let me see what it is. It's just whatever they announce, it's going to be a letdown because they freaking did the White House. It's going to be tough to beat that. Share show, crazy thought Hamzat should go back to 70 versus Islam. No, Hamzat needs to go up. He already has weight cutting issues. Going back down would be a nightmare. He'd get his ass whooped. Black Ross, I want to say you go a little hard on Ian, then you say something so hilarious I can't say anything. I'll take that, dude. Yeah, it's all love, right? It's all whatever, entertainment. At Smitty, Ian is the guy that catches his wife cheating and asks if he can still hang out. Such embarrassment to the sport. He is a good fighter, but brings nothing past that. Skill set he brings and some interesting matchups. I would favor him over Michael Morales. Gamma Girl, did you see the Megan Olivier interview with Joshua Van? The real way to say his name is Vaughn. I know, like Theo Vaughn. Had no idea. Theo Vaughn has a brother, and it is Joshua Vaughn. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
I figured you would. In Korean,
that's the first time I heard Vaughn.
In Korean, is Van pronounced Vaughn?
There's no Vaughns or Vans, but Han. There's a Han, not a Han, so you call it Han.
So Vaughn?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're in Texas now, dude. You're Van. Joshua Van. Be cool. Be cool. Mike Street, what about the tarantula? The guy is a problem for anybody You got that Jon Jones build? I know. For him, it's mental, right? For him, if he wants to be in there. Because he said he didn't want to fight, but he's doing it for Jesus. You know, he's like, I don't want to be in here, but I'm doing it for Jesus. He looked good. So if that gets him to the party, fucking do your thing. After Shabbat later, yesterday's live didn't pop up for me. I haven't even searched it. What the F? Because we didn't go live. That'd probably be the problem. We did a regular episode. So Mondays and Thursdays is regular episodes. Tuesday, Fridays are live, brother. Imzavu, is it just me or did Turner look giant compared to his opponent? He looked pretty giant. Scroll down, Chin. Tomcat, what up? Tyler, this was the craziest switch up of styles I've ever seen. Agree with Rogan on maybe saving the energy, but do what you gotta you gotta do what got you to the dance. Ian's feet were cemented to the ground, mind blowing. Yes. He came in to wrestle, not fight. Carlos, what up? Black Ross, Brendan, have you had the chance to watch Chris Taco Padilla, future at 55 in my opinion? Oof, he's good. He has a ways to go before I crown him the future. Sean J. Murph, great call on wrestling versus grappling. Also, can we let Islam live his legacy without comparing him to Khabib in every promo and conversation? I know in the UFC even tried pushing like the Conor Khabib comparison. Like, buddy, these two are far from that. Nate Dogg, did you see all the random favoritism online for Orbudai? What's up with that? Didn't understand. I think got inflated and after a loss before this too. It's weird. Yeah, people have high hopes for him. He shows really good signs, but, you know, 2 in a row is tough. Atsmany, happy for Dern. She seems like a great person. Mom carries herself very well. Yes, she's a superstar. Black Ross, Din Thomas was just trashed that night. Yeah, had a bad night. Black Ross, not a big deal, but just a bad idea. Correct. Carlos, hey B, if you're Gillian, do you go somewhere else to train? And you were right on Dern. I was just hoping for another Canadian champ. I get it, brother. I'm biased too towards a ton of fighters, so I get it. I'm biased towards Dern. She's one of my faves. Yes, if I'm Gillian, I 1,000% find a different camp. When the head of your camp tells you this is as far as you're going to go, that's not fair to say. There's a million examples of guys that, you know, maybe they're not ready to compete at that level, and then they go back to the drawing board, and then they win one, lose one, and they go on some crazy stretch, you know? So 1,000%, if your team's like, hey, this is good as it's going to get, you got to go somewhere else. It's uncomfortable, but you have to. Yankees, it's crazy the UFC pay-per-view and fight nights have had 35 women's fight all year and one title fight. The UFC isn't invested in women's MMA right now? No, it's a women's MMA problem. It's not just a UFC problem. It's around the entire sport. You know, there's just been a lack of participation. It's not like UFC doesn't like women's MMA. It's just there's not a lot on there. There's not a lot on the meat on the bone. The cleaner, Black Ross tacos on this weekend's card. Correct. Nick, outside the main event, those first 3 main card fights were fire. Out of the 3 winners, which fighter are you most excited to see fight again? Who do you want them to fight next? Let me see it, Chin.
Sorry, just that one.
Chin was...
I was going to look up Chris Padilla.
You don't have to do that. Bring up 330's card. I mean... I wouldn't say after the top 3 guys, as far as who I'm excited to see next, out of all the guys, Stoltzfus, Dustin, who's a big underdog, and he's like a Philly blue-collar guy, probably more excited to see him fight than anybody else. Because in those first 3, Jeremiah Wells, huge upset, right? That was dope. And in his hometown. That was really dope. Yeah, Lucas Fernando, he looked good. But Tobias is more of Tobias just looked like shit, I feel like. They were glazing Lucas. But my thing with that, it's like, yeah. But strength of competition, is that why he looked so goddamn good? And then obviously Neil Magny won, but, you know. He's 77 years old in fight years, so he's one of my faves, though. If you just gave me those 3, I would say Jeremiah Wells, But that Dustin kid from Philly, I can't wait to see him fight next. I'm a fan of him now. Jay Snag, Din Thomas trying to make out as if he's Greg Jackson, not saying he doesn't deserve his flowers, but say this stuff to your team, not the folks. Yeah, correct. Atsmany, also rest in peace, Hayden Panettiere, yes. Too damn young, but the boat story is wild. Hope the scumbag's name gets released somehow. The young famous kid from 2000s went through it. The boat story, I'm not familiar with the boat story.
Someone that she trusted got her to go downstairs in some boat area, and then there was like this really famous guy like laying naked in the bed just like this. And then she felt like she was being kidnapped, so she tried to run around and hide somewhere inside the boat.
This is when she was young?
No, this is during her years of, somewhat being famous.
That's what I'm saying. This is when she was younger, though, not like recently. Yeah, I mean, Hollywood's a weird, creepy world. Omar says his approach to cornering her was very interesting and unique. I was thinking maybe he knows how to light her fire, but he pretty much just yelled at her and didn't give her good fight advice. I think she was so outclassed he didn't know what to do. I think he was flustered. He was like, you got to fucking go, man. And they know each other well, so I don't know. It's easier on the outside looking in. It's so easy for us to judge, but who knows? Who knows? Normac, Islam definitely could not handle middleweight. Could you imagine him trying against like DDP or Hamzat? No, there's weight classes for a reason. So you hear Rogue and these other dudes like, I don't know why we have weight classes. Like, because certain guys, their optimal weight is the weight they cut at. Yeah, but their brains, it's part of the game. Tyler, Max Holloway's response to whoever controls Islam's Instagram about the belts? Yeah, hilarious. Marshall, oh, God, Strickland went hard on the paint on Woodley. Strickland going to volume punch the shit out of Woodley. Yeah. Black Ross, this is dirty. I think he looks up to Conor, and now he's acting like how he thinks Conor should be acting, just my opinion. Yeah, but Conor had a lot more success than him. You can't be acting that way if you didn't get to the dance. Yankees, Wells' third-round ninja choke was the best finish of the night, in my opinion. Yeah. That's fair. Charles Johnson's twister was pretty dope. You don't see those. Very hard to pull off. Mark says, listening in the forklift, doing the Lord's work. Thanks, sir. Where we at? W. Brooks says, seeing the size difference of Islam at the welterweights, does that set in stone that we won't have a 3-division champ, maybe 35-55 champ? Eventually, we might get him, but it's so tough, man. 3 divisions is so wild. Big Rich, don't you think he was hugging instead of going for submission? Is it because he's just too small to control him like he does smaller opponents? Otherwise, I think he would have submitted him. He couldn't get him on his back, couldn't get him on the ground. Yeah, due to the size. And it takes a lot of strength and a lot of energy to get him down. Shay Show, does Jillian mentally give up if she's dominating the first round because she felt like she was outclassed? It's a rude awakening. Yeah, I think she's like, shit. It's like, yeah. You beat a bunch of inflated girls, and you think your jiu-jitsu is really good, but it's not world class. And you thought you were going to win that way.
I don't know what to do with that. Just ignore.
Wrestler Dad, what up, Brendan? My son just turned 9 this weekend. He has played flag for 3 years and asking to play tackle this season. I wanted to wait until he was 10, but what are your thoughts? He's 4'6", 75 pounds. Yeah, at 9, there's a 9U team that practice. Those kids are good. It's good football. Just make sure it's good coaching. Black Ross, Islam will never be GOAT in my eyes. I mean, yeah. I mean, even if we were to beat Pratez and beat Mike Morales, let's say he does both by decisions, he still wouldn't be GOAT. There's just, it's tough, man. John's the GOAT for a reason. Atsmany, did I hear Rose is planning a comeback? I haven't heard that. Jay Snag, you still in touch with Eddie Bravo? Haven't heard from him in JRE. Yeah, we have a big group chat. texts every week. Eddie's kind of just laying low, doing his thing, man. He's still crushing it. Escofio, we should praise Weidman for trying to quiet Dern. Yeah. Because he knew that was going to cause some issues. He was like, buddy, let's not decide that right now. W. Brooks, is it time for a 105 women's class? Seems like there are a decent amount that would do better. Gillian seems to have bird bone respectfully. No, it's not time to open up more divisions when there's not enough women in the first place in the current divisions. That's when people are like, oh, we need a 225 weight class. Like, or let's work on 205 and heavyweight. Black Ross, I think everyone is misreading the conversation with Morales and Ian. How so, brother? A guy giving another guy advice who's undefeated next in line and coming off a loss is very strange. I like that he called him out. I was like, dude, you said I was talking shit. That never happened. That's fine there. But then he keeps going. You understand? It's like, he doesn't. Captain 420, every fighter needs to take a chance. Can't just wait around and hold positions. You have to move position to open up the finish. Can't just hold and think you're going to win off decision. I mean, that's what basically Islam did and won. Sean J. Murph, he tried to sun Morales. Shit is weak. Yeah, maybe it's mental warfare. Charlie says, I think Ian is more worried about what should I do in this moment to look good online rather than just saying I'm worried about becoming the champ at any cost. He seems unsure of himself. Yeah, there's something going on there. Mike Street, hard to argue against Jones being the GOAT. Even Khabib's undefeated record, Islam's impressive record. He fought the who's. Correct. Tofar, hot take. Does it feel like ever since the UFC White House this year hasn't had many memorable fights, especially with Conor flopping? Nah, there's still been some pretty good fights, dude. Again, it's going to be tough to compete with the White House, but there's been good fights. Like 329, yeah, the narrative's Conor's leg fell off, but passed the torch to Paddy. Now we can't wait to see Paddy, Ilia. Show, Islam looked way more tired this fight, even though he was dominating. Any thoughts on why? Bigger guy, really good takedown defense, so he was really pressing, trying to get him down. It's very tiring with a bigger guy. Swerve, thoughts on Luke Thomas saying he has Islam top 3 of all time? He says because he finished 7 out of his last 9 opponents and did it over modern MMA fighters who are more well-rounded and skilled than old. There's something to that too, yeah. There's something to that, especially at 55 and 70. Like, I give Islam his flowers. At 55-70 is the most stacked division, the most talented. And it's 2026. So he's fighting more rounded guys than, say, GSP fought, or especially than Khabib fought. So it's more impressive than what Khabib's doing. Swear, for us, Zahabi said Islam is the GOAT too, by the way. And he's the coach of one of the GOATs. Yeah, I don't get that. Yeah, I could debate that with Faraz all day. Because you look at John's record, and I don't see how they're coming up with that if they just get a refresh of John's career. Just an overview before they make those statements. Normac, if anyone can crack the Islam code, who do you think it is? Amasov, Shavkat, if he comes back at 100%. Someone that's bigger and can keep up with the wrestling and negate his wrestling and then also give it back to him and tire him out even more and then has pretty decent striking. Or like a Mike Morales who maybe can't keep up in the grappling department and has the power where over 3 or 5 rounds can land a big shot. That could get it done. Matthew Shan, Yobi, what's your favorite workout on Fight Camp? Been doing the full body kickboxing routines, finally getting better. I only do the boxing ones. I like the combination boxing ones. I haven't tried the kickboxing yet. Do love them though. Did it this morning. Philip, 90-10. I heard Islam wants to fight end of the year before this year's end, so hopefully December against Prates. That should be a tougher fight for Islam, I hope. Maybe. Prates isn't exactly a great grappler, so that could be where Islam gets his first finish at 170. DV says, I think Islam's win versus Garry is very, very good. It will age like wine because nobody else at 170 beats Garry except Amasov. Yep. High-level technical fight isn't appreciated these days. I agree that win will age like fine wine. When you say high-level technical fight isn't appreciated these days, when there's 2 rounds and there's 0 stinking punches thrown, I wouldn't say that's high level, brother. Or just riding him out, you know, having his back, riding him out against the cage. It's tough to say that's super high level. Jay Snag, great to see heavyweight making their stomp on the cage again. Looking forward to watching the heavies in the UFC Sacramento. Hell yeah. Jesse the Plumber, what up, fam? Hope I didn't miss too much. You're good. Omar, Khalil Rountree is pretty full-on Muay Thai. Facts. That's Smitty. Maybe Ian needs Diego Sanchez's old coach, the movement coach. It sounds like he has something similar to that in his camp. Big Earn. Is there any consideration that Ian might be right? I can easily see him pulling Justin Gaethje. Justin lost pretty convincingly to Khabib. He just hung around long enough for the right situation. Yeah. Yeah. Like say Prates beats Islam, which could definitely happen, or Michael Morales beats him. You know, or Sean Brady were to beat him, you know, in some weird world. But anybody not named Islam Makhachev gets that title and the UFC wants to play ball with Ian Garry, he could be your champ easily. Yeah, it's not some far-fetched thing. Ian has the potential to be champ 1,000%. Manuel, NFL, brother. I know you go back and forth with the Rams and Broncos being your 2 teams, but I'm a Texas man through and through. And the Dallas Cowboys looking mean as fuck this year. Thoughts on what they can do? Every year they look mean. Every year they look mean. I love the Styles kid they picked up. He's such a savage. And they got my boy Von Miller too, who's not the Von Miller, but he's still pretty damn good. NFC East, they could do it. But every year we go through this with you guys. Philip says, Chin, how was your weekend? By the way, had a nice time? ?
I'll actually answer this. So I actually went camping and fishing at a place you never catch fish, Santa Ana River Lakes in Orange County. And then I went to a new Korean barbecue spot in Garden Grove, probably my top 5 now. It's called Sookdao. S-O-O-K-D-U-L.
High praise from Chin. Angel, have you playing on my AirPods while I try to sell a car for the day? I'm at 7 for the month. Goal is 15 at least. Wish me luck. Huge fan for 10 years. Good luck, brother. What kind of cars we selling, though? Captain 420, just watched your fight against Matt. His walkout was so sick. Must have pumped up to be, he came out simple man. Yeah, he always comes out to simple man. Escofido, can we praise Chris Weidman for trying to stop Dim from talking? He tried his best because he knew his buddy was putting his foot in his mouth. The Cleaner, do you think the way Islam won these last 2 fights opens up the convo again about control over damage? Where do you sit on that? I'm kind of with the way they should score. I rely more on damage than control, right? Because control definitely favors the wrestlers and damage favors everybody else. And the point of fighting is to damage your opponent. So I definitely put more emphasis on damage. Normac, is it Din or Dean? I've always heard the pronounce him Din Thomas. I know it's spelled Din, though. I don't know. I think you can say either, bud. Nate Dogg says, UFC Salt Lake City looking like it's going to be garbage. I was wanting to go, but who could possibly fight? When is that? I know they just announced they're going back to Denver, too, which would be dope. Mike Street, why was Ian so flat-footed? I've only seen a few of his fights. He almost looked like a different fighter. Yeah, just trying to negate the wrestling of Islam, and that's all he cared about. Timothy Coppinger, Pico's so overrated, he will never sniff UFC gold. If he starts as Arnold, he'll sniff gold. But I get it. I get why people say he's overrated. Slurp says, my guess on the news Dana's going to drop is going to be the fight on an aircraft carrier or something like that. Huge military base. Ooh, I could definitely see it being military related. Yeah, I like that take. I could definitely see it. Yeah, maybe it's in San Diego, Camp Pendleton or something like that, doing it for the troops. I could definitely see him doing it like that. Cedome B, wifey had been working out consistently after baby number 2. I'm super proud of her. She's a fan. Her name is Aaron. Can she get a shout out? There you go, brother. Keep it going, Aaron. Michael Mukai, if you could play Gary in a video game, I bet peeps would be picking him. Head kicks all day. Yeah, he has a lot of skill set, my man. DV says, why is Sugar Sean O'Malley saying he'll wait like he's the next in line when Umar Mario Bautista have been more active in their last 2 years and have better wins than Sean? Sean's a bigger star, and he's earned it. That's why. Omar says, Joshua's just trying to church it up and make it fancy, like Van. Yeah. Abe says, hey, B, what's your take on the Van Pantoja presser? I've never seen Van be disrespectful the way he won the title. What do you think is good? I think Van can feel like a lot of the people don't consider him the actual champ because he didn't beat Pantoja, right? Pantoja's elbow fell off. So I think that makes him feel a type of way. So that's why he came out so intense. Normac, Jalen Turner cut the dreads and now he's got more power. Maybe. He looked like he did. Daniel, am I wrong? If Ian would have used his kicks more, he could have won. During the fight, I felt like Ian's kicks were working. They were definitely working, especially to the body. I don't know why he didn't increase that. Where'd we jump to? Let me see. Oh, there we go. Mojito, hey B, what's up? Everything's good with the fam. After watching homie fight from IFU fight, is hitting dead ass middle of the spinal leg. I don't know what that is. J. Luke, there's nothing worse than a happy loser. Any sport I've ever played, I've left it on the floor. Teammates aren't upset. We lost. It makes me wonder why they even showed up. Yeah, it's very strange. Charlie Fishing, you think the UFC commentary team has gone a tad stale lately? Was watching some old fights earlier. Commentary feels like they lost some passion. Feels repetitive almost. Well, probably because they have to do so many damn fights. You know, it's hard to keep the enthusiasm. I don't think they've gone stale, but if they have, I haven't gone back and listened to an old one, but it used to be like a monthly Super Bowl. But now it's like they're doing so much, especially not Rogan so much, but especially DC. A lot of the other guys, they're working so much, right? They have, 47 fights to fulfill? After Schaub later, I'm now sold on Dern. I thought she was overrated and really thought Gillen had a chance. Yeah, I never thought Gillen had a chance. Dern still has work to do. You know, beating the shit out of Gillen doesn't prove much. She's damn good, though. Carlos, so now I'm going to throw out there that being biased, Gillian should go to Zahabi's gym. I think she would be a perfect fit for him to level her up. There's a ton of places she could go. Ton of places. Big Dog Ryan, let's stop talking about Ian because, let's be honest, he's just boring. Now what we should be talking about is Dustin Stolz. Yeah, the dude had an incredible fight. Thoughts be? Yeah, I thought I don't know if he got a bonus, but he definitely should have. Fighting a teammate, doing shit like that. Do you think Extreme Couture could help Jillian? Yes, that's where I'd go, with Nick sick. Thank you for your donation, dude. Good question. Sean J. Murph, what's up with all the my Lord and Savior stuff? To each their own, but seems like these guys have been saying way more since the White House card. Just me or anybody else notice? No, it's not since the White House card. There's been a renaissance. There's been a revamp in Christianity, Christian stuff like that, because it's been under attack. That's why you get a lot of that stuff, and especially people that do. Again, I'm not a big churchgoer, but the people that do kind of been quiet about it, and since it's been under attack, and there's some other narratives being pushed, guys feel like they have to stick up for the religion. That's the least of my worries, brother. Where am I at? There I am. Shaman Gold. Not sure if y'all covered it yet, but Din Thomas isn't apologizing for the real reason he's catching heat. Before any headlines in real time, I heard him giving up on his fighter in the corner. Yeah, maybe. Mike Street, sticking up with my hot take on Huffy head kick and Armin. I think he catches him coming in. Definitely could. Definitely could. I don't think it's a hot take. It's the only way he's going to win. And he has to do it in the round and a half. Otherwise, it's game, set, match. Batman's going to choke him out. Jesse, what up, chat? Here working, fixing a leaking water heater. Doing the Lord's work. D. Scott, dad question. If Tiger wanted to give up football and baseball because he wanted to fight? Nope. Out of the question. Would you try and talk him out of it? Yes, sir. My son's 9, wants to fight, but I want him to. I did Muay Thai and MMA. It's just a tough life. Like, use it as a supplement to your sport. But I would say commit to wrestling, and let's see how good you get at wrestling. And then, if you dominate in wrestling in high school, maybe you do it in college, then we can start doing some MMA. Mike Street, loved your take on Ian needing to hang out with some blue-collar men. His testosterone levels are normal or below. He might be doping estrogen, though. Yeah, all that vegan ain't going to be good. Keep going down, Chin. Nick, B, did you see or hear how hyped the crowd was for Paddy? Biggest, loudest pop of the night. Think he's absolute proof. Losers doesn't mean you're done. When and where do you think he should fight next? Paddy should fight Ilia. 1,000% that's the fight to make. You can't give up on that. Russell, thank you for donation. Doomsday is coming. For Ian, or what are we talking about here, bud? Pretty dark there. Omar, Jillian Turner coming back and getting that KO was up there on my top list for 330. Man, that guy went through it. So happy to see him back, having success. So cool. Yeah, me too. Happy for him. H-Bomb Fitness, thank you for your donation. Brent, are we getting another fight campaign anytime soon? We just got to figure it out. It's tough because Rogan, if he misses the UFCs, they're usually in Abu Dhabi. The problem with that is they do those during the day. Problem with that is starting next Saturday through the end of October, my Saturdays are filled with coaching kiddos football, so that makes it tough. D. Scott, how much do you think Ian weighed on the fight night after hydrating? How many pounds do you think he had on Islam? Yeah, that's the thing. Ian doesn't do crazy weight cuts. He kind of chills, he doesn't do any crazy weight cuts. Because what did Islam said he came in 5 pounds under than when he fought JDM at. What did Islam come in at? Do we know? I bet he had at least 15, 20 pounds on, which is a huge advantage. Jared, what do you think the biggest fight the UFC can make right now? Why? Personally, I think Paddy versus Ilia. Facts. For a belt or no belt doesn't matter. Yeah. Paddy versus Ilia is by far the biggest fight they can make and should absolutely make it. Jesse the Planner. Islam fights like Ian acts lately. That's funny. Shea Mango. The only person happy with last night's performance is Ian Machado's son. His favorite fighter got the dub. Yeah, his kid's cute, though, man. Can't knock the 5-year-old or wherever he is. Jay Lopez, what up, people? I really thought Ian would get it done. I think maybe we hyped him up too much. Not sure what it is, but Ian may just be a gatekeeper. Far from a gatekeeper. He has the skill to beat Islam. It's just he didn't apply himself. He didn't use all his tools.
You're talking about once he entered the cage, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. All right, just double check.
Because we knew he weighed 170 at weigh-ins, right?
But sometimes they go in a little bit under.
No.
Hey, man, I put in your face, though. It's right there.
UFC 330 revealed that he made 183. And what did Ian weigh? So he weighed 183. Yeah, he said he came in 5 pounds heavier against JDM, and he felt stronger.
That one doesn't show it.
It doesn't show his walk-around weight? Or I guess his real fight night weight?
Let me see if chat has it.
All right, where are we at? DV, Mackenzie looked great in the first 2 rounds. I say her versus Tatiana would be interesting. Woodley should stay at flyweight. Agree. Cody, when coaches say, come on, with no instruction, ideas, specific things to do, it drives me crazy. Yeah, it's not great. That's when they're very frustrated, and they probably know their fighter's outclassed. D. Scott, Conor isn't the GOAT, but he's the biggest star ever, and he changed the sport. Does that get him on the Mount Rushmore of MMA? Oof, that's a good question. Because if we're playing that game, Kimbo Slice is on your Mount Rushmore. So we're saying Ian came in at 86 or 190, 192.
That's his normal walk around.
Yeah, I'd say he had at least 15 pounds on him, which is a huge difference. Paddy's pop at UFC 330 was wild, highest of the night. He's really a superstar. Yeah, I'm telling you, that dude checks all box. Superstar. That's from Philip. DV says, I don't know, Schaub. I think this is one of the UFC's best years ever. I'm even watching Trash Cards now because of Paramount. I agree with you, dude. I think it's one of the best, too. Yeah. I've never said they're having a bad year. Somebody else say it's been weak since the White House. I think they've been crushing it. Some of the fight nights are tough, especially for casuals. I like it all, dude. Dana White Contender Series is lit. It's been pretty good, man. It's tough to hate on the UFC right now. Jose says, if Allen beats Pico, title shot or win one more, he's never fought for a title, but always been top 5. Yeah, Allen, in the big fights, he typically doesn't show up. Gimma Girl says, tap the like with some trees. Shaman, for whatever it's worth, I understand Islam won the fight, hands down, but am I crazy thinking that Ian Garry did more damage? Seeing both of them after the fight really looked that way. A lot of the damage done in the transition of takedowns, defend takedowns. I think he said he got headbutt or hit his nose and broke his nose from a headbutt. Now, he did more damage with the body kicks, but it wasn't enough to win a fight. He just didn't do enough of it. Nate Dogg, seen a post about husband watching Mackenzie Dern fight. It was pretty funny, and some of the lib comments about why is he watching women's MMA if they're not on the same card? That's funny. Odin, I don't know, but Brian not knowing it was Brittany Murphy in Sin City was making me so mad. Me too, dude. I was like, oh, buddy, you're off. Captain 420, everyone hates on Jon and won't give him his flowers because of what he did outside the cage, but he can't do that to the best fighter to ever live. Yeah, he's not the best person to ever live. He's the best fighter to ever live. But it's not even up for discussion, though. Like, just do yourself a favor. If you're like, man, is Islam the GOAT or is it Jon? Do yourself a favor. Very easy homework. Bring up their resumes and just go through it. And then if you go, oh, I still think Islam's the GOAT over Jon, you don't know ball. That's all it is. It's all good. Common Cody, so we go live Tuesday and Thursday only, asking for a friend. Yes, sir. Normac, do you think Poton sticks out heavyweight or goes back to 205? Probably depends on how the next fight goes, I'm sure. Yeah, he'll probably fight one more at heavyweight. If that goes south, he'll get down to 205. We probably don't have a ton left. Stevie G, in your opinion, what would it take to dethrone Jon as the GOAT? Who can do it? In current times, there's nobody. There's just not enough talent and big names. It'd be very, very tough to dethrone him. Very, very tough. I don't think we ever see it. Very tough. It's just a different business model now. So it's very tough. Captain 420, yes. Jon Jones is the GOAT, won't be dethroned for a long time. Yeah, it's just a different, what he did will never be done again. Never again. Speaking of never done again, hopefully I don't have to do more reads, but here we go, kids, live for you. Insurance isn't just one size fits all, and shopping for it shouldn't feel like squeezing into something that just doesn't fit. That's why drivers who have enjoyed Progressive Name Your Price tool for years, with the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay. They show you options that fit your budget. Enough hunting for discounts, trying to calculate rates, and tinkering with coverages. Maybe you're picking out your very first policy, or maybe you're just looking for something that works better for you and your family. Either way, they make it simple to see your options and no guesswork, no surprises. Ready to see how easy and fun shopping for car insurance can be? Visit Progressive.com. Give them the Name Your Price tool a try. Take the stress out of shopping and find your coverages that fit your life on your terms. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates. Price and coverage matched by limited by state law. Progressive.
Nice.
Sorry, kids. All right, where are we at? Mike Street, who's your favorite boxer of all time? Favorite boxer of all time? Probably would be Fury. I love Tyson Fury. Absolutely adore Tyson Fury. Yeah, love Fury. I'll stick with Fury. And who's your favorite MMA fighter of all time? Crow Cop, Fedor. I'm a big Pride guy. Crow Cop, Fedor, Vanderlei, Shogun, all that shit. Charlie Fishing, I think Prime Shavkat could beat Islam. Big enough to not get pinned down and stuck. Solid grappling, good enough striking and finish. Feet also has dog mentality. Zabit 2.0, sadly. I know. He could be a real problem. D. Scott B, you're right. Too many people throw the term world class around, just like too many people use GOAT for everyone. It's super annoying. Also, calling someone a hater just because they don't agree with you. Yes, it's very strange. Mike Street, being a great fighter that continues to be talked about as somebody that didn't just win, but spectacular fashion. Correct. Jonathan Dillinger, I'm late, but do you think Dana starts pushing Gary out? I met Gary and his wife in political conversation, and she definitely ran him. I met Gary with his wife in a political conversation? Interesting. God, I'd be interested to see what their politics are. I can guess. Probably not good. That's the thing. Like, the UFC can push guys out and make the strength of schedule and their life miserable. I just don't see a world. Like, how are you going to discipline Ian Garry? I mentioned this on Fighting the Kid. Amosov, they could do that. If they really hate him and they don't vibe with Eddie Hearn stuff in the signing, Amosov would be the way to discipline him. Even then, that's not a for sure loss for him. We're going to discipline him with who? Michael Morales? Oh, no. Sean Brady? Oh, no. Like, there's not much they can do with him. So, again, his talent is very high. He's very difficult to beat. But, Tariq, which active fighter do you get most excited to watch? God, there's a lot of them, man. A lot of them. Just off the top of the dome, though, Ilia, Justin, God, it's kind of popping around. Volkanovski, Sarukian, I'd love to see fight again. Paddy Pimblett, Jillian. Hopefully Tom Aspinall comes back and he's all good. Poetan every single time. Hokit, I'd love to see what Hokit's going to do. Sean Strickland, I know he might not be the most exciting for you guys. I do like watching him fight. Hamzat too. DDP, Pfeiffer. There's so many guys. There's a lot of guys. Paulo Costa's fun. Navajo Sterling's fun. Yeah, Mike Morales, Carlos Pratas. Bonifim's fun. There's a ton of guys. Dan Frawley, not that it matters, but I find it hard to give Islam the fourth. He secured the takedown but did zero damage. He looks significantly more beat up sitting on his stool before the fifth. Yeah, it doesn't mean you lost the round, but sure, give him the fourth. Comment Cody, Eddie Bravo's a national treasure. Yes, correct.
I can go down, but I might jump.
Go ahead and go down.
Okay.
We'll go another 8 minutes, kids. We'll go to 12:20 today. Hour and 20 minutes. We good? 8 minutes of pure fury. Let's do it.
I think it's around here.
Yeah, I see where we're at. Right. Andrew says, without the killer instinct that Pratas and Michael Morales have, would Ian be able to take the belt from them in a championship fight where it's do or die, or would just be happy or not get knocked out? No, because those guys that take chances and it's in his department. So Ian could get a finish with them, and he's not so worried about the takedown. That's where Ian thrives. Giovanni 7 even. Thank you for your donation. I think the biggest question mark of Jon Jones' career is the Rumble Johnson fight that fell through. I think Rumble stylistically was the guy to win. Maybe. That's a big if, brother. Big if. But John's fought everybody, so the one guy in Rumble Johnson who was never a UFC champ, that's a tough one. Rest in peace, Rumble Johnson. That's a tough take, bud. Where are you at? Charlie Fishing. Anyone else not sold on Paddy still? BSD not world class and has a minus 1,000 fight IQ. Yeah, he's terrible at fight IQ. The way he looked in Justified still lingers in my mind. Not sure if he's fully champ material. That's completely fair, brother. No, that's 1,000% fair. I'm with you, and I'm the biggest Paddy fan. But there's still, his striking is not good. Don't get it twisted. Like, people are like, oh, man, that Justified looks a lot better. It's like, yeah, he didn't get knocked down, ate some shots, but his striking looked atrocious. Like, I'm with you, dude. I'm very on line with you. D. Scott says, FYI, Khabib is pronounced Khabib. The K is silent. Just letting you know, Big Brown. All good. I'll call him Khabib. Khabib. Nate Dogg, UFC Salt Lake City is like October 3rd. They announced 233, but not 232. Probably waiting. Oh, 333, 332, correct. Joshua Jack, complaints about Islam being born is like complaining Steph Curry can only win one-on-one by shooting threes. Like, yeah, your layups aren't winning you the game, bud. Yes and no. Weird comparison, brother. Rodney says, Sugar said he wanted to wait till after the Merab fight. He said he needs to heal up. That's fine. Nick, don't see how Pico gets more hype than Murphy. Murphy starched him and then lost questionable decision against the next title contender. Yeah, I hear you. It's just the way it goes, you know. Pico's been around, especially he's been around the game, right? Bellator, we've been waiting for him. He did his thing there, trained under Freddie Roach. Like, there's been a lot of hype on Pico for years. Murphy's kind of new, especially to the casuals, especially to the American fans. So that's all it is. Doesn't mean he's better. He beat him. Swerve says, because Morales cut so much weight, do you worry about his gas tank after the fight? Couple rounds, could see his steamrolling late. Yes. Yeah. I have so many questions about Michael Morales. You know, so many. I'm not ready to say, oh, he's the next champ. It's like, I don't know. And it's all good. He's 19-0. You know, he beat Sean Brady, but we haven't seen him, you know, feet to the fire yet. Mark says, why not die here with the rewind at 10 and put it in the background to promote it? More royalties. I don't need to do all that, brother. Thank you, though. Yeah, Morales just cut a lot of weight, which could, you know, as the rounds drag on, be a real issue. Jonathan says, to clarify, Ian Garry was very nice, but you could tell ahead of time she ran shit and that time she was pregnant, so who knows? Yeah, but also you're a little biased because you know the fan base hating on him and stuff like that. Abe, Ilia says this, I like Ariel. Also, I got you. I'll say this. I like Ariel, but it seems like him and the boys were happy with the way Ian handled the loss, and they say that they don't get why people don't like him. Do you think that's a biased take? No, to each their own. Like, some people love Islam's style. Some people think I'm crazy for saying he doesn't take chances or hating on their 103 record. Or I get a lot of shit for giving Ian Garry shit. You know, I made the comment how he likes hot dogs the way they're shaped. You know, so if that's what they like, you know, or if that's the way they feel, it's all good. I don't hate on him for that. And also, you know, those guys, they might like it because they're big basketball fans, right? So maybe basketball players handle it that way, you know? So maybe that's why they're treating like that. I think it's a red flag, but, you know, what do I know? However they feel about it, it doesn't bother me. Nothing but love for those boys. Marshall Erickson, Bren, you see Sugar Sean's impression of Garry fighting Islam? Very funny. Yeah. Sugar Sean's crushing on social media right now. Swerve B, after Islam dropped Ian and judo tossed him, do you think it was over for Ian? I did. That judo toss was filthy. Big Earn, I'm not a big Ian guy. He seems unauthentic to me, but he had moments in the fight that made me think the fight is more winnable than the scorecard showed. I mean, if he applied himself, yeah. I think the best takeaway is they're like, man, if Ian was just put his foot on the gas, this could be a different outcome. That's what it is. But I think the scorecard showed the exact effort Ian put in. He risked nothing, got controlled, didn't get damaged, 4-1, if not 5-0. So it's like the scorecard showed that he really didn't do much. But I think we're all thinking the same things. Like, man, if he would have just applied himself a little more and took a little more risk, he could have won that fight. And you best believe Prates is thinking that. Michael Morales is thinking that. They're like, oh, Islam's human. So that's going to give them confidence. Nick, you're absolutely right on the commentating team. White House card and Strickland fights, they sounded like old. I think they need permanent fight night rotation. Save DC Rogan for the big cards. They're kind of doing that, but DC works a ton, man. He's doing a ton of shit. Angel says, I sell Chevy Buick GMC in San Marcos. Oh, not far from here. The Corvette Grand Sport is sick. I've heard, dude. I've heard. I'd like to get my hands in one. Drew Casablanca, hey, Big B, for the first Sunday of football, you throwing a gathering at the house or in the neighborhood? No, man. No. Some of the neighbors still parties. I might, if they have kids and my kids are friends with them, we might go over there, but I just do my own thing, man. I'll barbecue for the family and chill with the fam. Jay Lopez, you guys notice a bunch of people disappear, go missing anytime Chin's out of town? Facts. This is such a funny take. Esco Fio, thank you for your donation. Thoughts on how Usman Nurmagomedov too many letters would do in the UFC? That's so funny. Thoughts on how Usman Nurmagomedov too many letters? Too many letters. He'll do well. He'll do well. Again, there's so many question marks, but he's very skilled. He's probably the most athletic Nurmagomedov, so I think he'll do well. They're going to give him tough fights. Tough fights. Ozzy says, my younger son loved fighting, but now doesn't want to. My older son hated it, and now only wants to do it. Yeah, let him do whatever the hell they want to do, man. Ride with it, man. Whatever they're into, jump into it. Charlie Fishing said, if you're looking for an entertaining show to watch, Friday Night Tykes about a youth football league in Texas called Taifa. Love summer, but can't wait for the leaves to change. Football time, baby. Correct. No, if you want a good show, it's called Furious on Hulu. Buddy. It's the best show I've seen in a hot second. It came recommended to me from some Instagram. I was scrolling through, and those people that do reviews of shows are like the best crime, serial killer thing. It's called Furious on Hulu. Oh, buddy, it's good. It's a female serial killer. And she's getting back on all these guys who did her wrong. Ooh, it's good. Best show I've seen in a hot second. And shout out to Sugar Sean because one of the killer's boyfriend, she goes into his house and he has a Sugar Sean O'Malley poster in the back. I went, oh, man, that guy really made it. That made me think, Sugar Sean's really made it. Because his poster's in the back of Furious. There's only one season. You got to be an uber fan to see it. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to show it on there.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Such a good show, though. Oh, where are we at?
Top area.
All right. Patrick Martinez, why did they let Islam have a flag? I saw Marab and Max Holloway were ticked about it. Oh, they did? Wow. Gilman Girl, does anyone know where Slowfit is? Yeah, good question. Kamakoti, Usman not gonna fight her anymore. Dude, it sounds like they're gonna. People are like, it's so clear the UFC signed him. Why don't they announce it? Because they're not gonna announce a signing without announcing his fight. So I guarantee you the contract's done, but they're waiting to see who they're gonna match him up with, and then you get the announcement. That's where you get the hype. Black Ross, yeah, I think prime Rory McDonald would have been at proms and probably would have beaten Islam. Brent's probably the only person that can convince me otherwise. I agree. Oh, dude, prime Rory McDonald could wrestle his ass off, long, rangy, crazy high fight IQ. I'm with you, brother. That's a good take. Great take. Porto Hundo. Why is every fighter in the UFC considered a Hall of Famer? That word is used too much in the UFC. Agree. Again, the UFC is not like the NFL where it's damn tough to make the Hall of Fame. Like, you have some guys in the Hall of Fame like, really? Omar, Ian versus Amasov next for Ian, right? That's how you. That's when you're gonna know. If they announce it, like, oh, they hate Ian. 38 MX, big thick boy Brown. What's the most you've ever lost bet on a UFC fight? I don't bet on UFC fights. Probably bet with Callan. Me and him over the years. He probably owes me like $300,000 by this point from beating his ass betting. But I really don't bet. Me and my brother back in the day when we lived together used to bet on NFL and baseball and college, and it would like ruin our weekends when we lost our money, so we stopped doing it. And Austin, what's your prices for pods? Do you have a layout or things you like to cover each day? What is your process for pods? I usually create like, especially for Mondays and Thursdays episodes where they're not live, I usually have a bunch of bullet points that I want to make sure I cover, points I cover, and like perspectives I cover, and I'll send it to Chin. He'll bring it up on the screen. But I usually create those over like 3 days. So when I come in, I'm ready to rock with my points. But they're just bullet points. It's not like all this. It's just little bullet points, and then I can just rant off those bullet points. That's why I do it. And I usually try to make them flow, but you'll see sometimes I jump all over. But it'd be like Ian Garry, happy to lose. And then I'll just that to trigger something that I can run with that. Then it'd be like Islam Makhachev, team whatever, 103. And I can ramble off that. So it's kind of like these just jumping off points. Hopefully that answers your question. D. Scott, I agree with DJ Mighty Mouse. You can't be in the GOAT conversation if you pissed hot. Anderson Silva was my favorite fighter, but he's out of the question. Oh, I disagree. Different time. Guys they were fighting were testing hot. That's a weird one. But now, to be fair to DJ, I'm also saying that if I'm DJ, a guy who's never tested hot. And that makes him number one GOAT of all time. So I'd be saying the same shit. I'm with DJ. Nah, man, you're out of the equation. If you tested hot, let's see who's next in line who hasn't tested hot. Oh, it's me. I'll do the same shit. And there's argument DJ is number one. Don't get it twisted. DJ's a straight up savage. One of my faves. Charlie Fishins, why do people think NFL athletes would come over and dominate MMA? They would have an athletic advantage for sure, but the willingness to take damage, keep fighting is a huge piece of puzzle. It's just people that have never fought before, you know, because they think, oh, he's so big, so strong, he'd mop the floor with these guys. It's like, no. D. Scott, Yobi, you play tight end. Give me your top 5 tight ends of all time. I'll go with Antonio Gate, Tony Gonzalez, in no specific order. Jeremy Shockey, Bravo for the Giants, old school. Mark Chimura. You like that? Could toss Shannon Sharp in there. CVG, have you watched the Travis Barker documentary? It's really good. Bring back so many childhood memories. No, I haven't. I just started listening to him on Rogan, but no, I haven't heard it. Patrick Martinez, hot take. Prime Schaub takes out Aspinall. Very hot take and not true. Thank you, though. Giovanni, thank you for your donation. I think the biggest question mark of Jon Jones' career is that Rumble. Yep, we talked about that, brother. Rumble was a problem. Rumble was a problem, but it was never at that level of guys like John and DC and stuff like that. Because remember what DC did to Rumble. DV, as a former fighter, if you were in Shavkat's shoes, would you have the mental struggle knowing your knee is not okay? I mean, hopefully he's doing peptides and certain things. You know, hopefully he's out of the protocol so he can get that knee ready to go. And then don't rush it and get back when that knee's ready to go. D. Scott, would you rather compete in RAF or GI BJJ? Probably RAF. It's kind of popping. It's exciting right now. Oh, buddy. Charlie says, maybe overlooked because he's small, but I've been entertained by every single Joshua Van fight. It's Joshua Vaughn. Okay, dude, get it right. Just kidding, pal. But yeah, he's must-see TV. Joshua Van's fucking fantastic. The cleaner, Amosov and Brady are the dark horse in the division. Bad match for everyone. Yeah, yes and no. Brady, right, got starched by Michael Morales already. Lost to Ian. Amosov, I'll give you that. W. Brooks, are you saying that even if Islam gets 2 title defense at 170, which no double champ has done, and longest lightweight champ, how does that not put him as the GOAT? Just doesn't. Strength of schedule. Again, do yourself a favor, W. Brooks. Go look at John's resume and then get back to me. And if you still feel that way, we can have that conversation, but you probably won't, Bubba. Ben Washington, hey, legend. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, sir. My question is, are you ever getting fight offers currently? I'd imagine certain promotion would try to capitalize off your name, UFC credentials. Yeah, I'll get some. I still get some. Or it's not that you get offers. They'll check in with my manager and be like, hey, what do you think of? Would he consider? And it's just like, no. D. Scott, Coach, do you have your game speech ready for the kiddos? Don't be out there sound like Rudy. Yeah. I speak from the heart, man. I'm super passionate about coaching them and football, so I don't have to have any bullet points for that. I just do my thing, man. Black Ross, there are so many athletes turned podcasters and YouTubers. My all-time favorite is B-Shop. Thank you, sir. There are a lot. There's definitely guys better than me. I think this is for a fact. I've been doing it longer than any of them. So by just default, I've been doing it longer, so I got more miles than those guys. But there's a lot better guys than me now, man. Black Ross, I would like to see MVP versus Morales. Ooh, tough fight for MVP. I would watch it, though. Escofio. Oh, this guy's my dude. Thoughts on final episode of from season 4. The whole season was just like, right? There's so many boring episodes. I guess I'm excited for season 5. I keep coming back. I still don't know what the fucking show's about exactly. Black Ross, miss me in this chat. Don't go anywhere, dude. All right, it's 12:30, kids. We're at last one. You think Tommy McMillan can beat Rocky? Again, Tommy, and this is from Jesse Bales. Tommy McMillan definitely needs to button up on his defense. You know, if he comes in that volume, punching, caution to the wind, Rocky's going to be a problem. So you're hoping he learned from that. Even though he won, you're hoping he learned and dial some of that stuff in because he goes to a higher level. That pressure and just overwhelming guys not going to work, and they're going to use it against him via Leroy Murphy, Aaron Pico, right? Aaron Pico came out like a banshee. You're like, oh, look at his pressure. And Murphy was like, very cool, and just knocked him, like used his aggression and knocked him out, if that makes sense. So we'll see what happens. All right, kids. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Again, favorite thing to do is chatting with you guys. I will be back. On Thursday, regular episode. Next time we do a live chat will be this Friday, same time, same place. Like, subscribe, do all the things, kid. Love you guys. Regular episode Thursday, Friday, we're back at the Super Chat, 11 a.m. Central Time. Coming in hot. I'm going to get a new modem, so there's no issues. All right? I'm Big Brown. Thank you guys for watching. I'm out.